Hey guys, your tech admin here, and today is a very exciting day. Last week, I actually finally was able to upgrade my internet connection to something better. My ISP finally rolled out faster speeds in my neighborhood. It's been available in my town for a while, but they finally just got around to rolling it out in my neighborhood. Originally, I had 24 megs down, 2 megs up. Now, 24 megs down was bearable. You know, that's plenty of bandwidth for 2 people to stream Netflix or something. But the 2 megs up was just horrible. But now they've rolled out faster speeds, and I have 100 megs down and 10 megs up. Now, 10 megs up still isn't anything impressive. I would much prefer that to be 50 megs up, or perhaps even a symmetrical 100 up, 100 down. But obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon. So in the meantime, I'm just going to have to settle for the 10 megs up. But after the update, I realized that my really old wired router that I've been using for a while now has it can't keep up with the new connection speed. I get 100 megs down and it can only throughput like 30 megs, even though it's supposed to be 10/100. So I don't know what's up with that, but instead of fighting with it since it's so old, I decided to go ahead and get this. This is the Ubiquity EdgeRouter X. Now this thing has a lot of more advanced features. It's a little more powerful than your standard consumer router, and you can do some pretty neat stuff with it. So today I'm going to be installing and configuring this. Now before we get started, I want to go ahead and show off my current network setup. Now we're in my living room at the moment, and as you can see, this is my entertainment center on my TV, and my networking gear is actually all stuffed behind those 2 speakers there because I just have nowhere else to put it at the moment. I really want to get a dedicated space for all of it, but let me grab a flashlight. I had one a second ago. What did I do with it? There it is. So if I grab this flashlight and shine it back behind this speaker, you can see that all my networking gear is just kind of crushed back here. I've got, there's my old wired router. It's a, what is that? It's a D-Link EBR 2310. It's pretty old. And that's connected from my modem, which is back over here on this side. So that's connected to my modem there, which is just an Air surfboard. And then it goes from the router over to my switch. Now this is a nice Cisco Meraki switch. It does PoE and all kinds of cool fancy stuff like that. And connected to that is also up here my access point, which is also a Cisco Meraki access point. I plan on sealing and owning that eventually, but that'll happen after I finally find a place to host all this stuff. But what we're going to be replacing is over here. It is this old router, so I'm actually going to go ahead and pull it out, and my network's going to go offline. There we go. So there's the old guy out. This thing, I got it at a Goodwill a couple years ago, and I've been using it just kind of as a stopgap since my last combo router access point died. And I came across that new switch and access point, so I didn't need anything that had all that built in. So I just got this little cheap switch to stand in the meantime. But it's definitely served its purpose, but now I need something better. So I'm going to go find somewhere to sit down. I'm going to unbox this, try to look at the configuration, and then get it installed back there, which is going to be fun because I got to fish a new power cable up the up through all of that, if you can see. I don't think you can see. So yeah, that right there has all the wires running up from the bottom, and I gotta fish the power cable through it down to there. You can see them coming out at the bottom. So that's gonna be fun. So let's go ahead and get over to the table and unbox this guy here. Alright, here we are at my desk, and we're gonna go ahead and open this. I've already slit the tape holding it closed, but open her up here, and you get the quick start guide, the device itself, which is very, very small. I mean, my hand can easily hide it. And, we've got on this side, we've got the power input, a spot for a ground screw, a recessed reset button, and on the back we've got 5 Ethernet ports. E0 is PoE in. This thing can be powered off of PoE, so you don't have to use the power adapter. My switch does have PoE, but because my switch has to be connected to the second port, I think the first port is only designed to be used for your incoming connection. So that will be coming from my modem, and obviously my modem doesn't output PoE power. So I don't think I'm going to be able to use it with PoE power, which is why I had to fish that power cable, which is a bit unfortunate. But it does output PoE, which is pretty cool. I can probably plug my access point into that instead of plugging it into the switch. But then again, if I plug it into this to the switch, it might not show all of its details in the Meraki dashboard like it does now. So I don't know. I have to look at it and see. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a compact little thing. Got some nice mounting screws or mounting slots in the bottom, so that when I do eventually get around to mounting all of my networking equipment, it'll be really easy to just hang it up like that and plug things into it. And got the power adapter. Nothing too fancy there. It is 12 volt at 0.5 amps. And that's it. That's all there is to the packaging. So let's go ahead and see about getting this thing hooked up. Okay, so I accidentally forgot to start the recording, but I've pulled the old power cable out and I've got the new power cable managed in. So we are ready to hook the router up. So let's do that now. I'm going to get out from behind here because it's really cramped. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and plug everything in. I'm just going to plug this into the back. Alright, and then instead of trying to reorganize this, I'm just going to flip these cables over. And that's the modem, and this is the switch. Just let that sit like that. Yeah, I'll come figure it out later, but for now, that is connected up. It says a little better like that, actually. So my network should be back online now. So let's go check it out. Alright, so I've got it all configured, and this is the dashboard here. It shows you a nice overview of the ports that are being used and your CPU and RAM usage as well as uptime. You get some activity graphs as far as sending and receiving and all that good stuff. And yeah, I just used the wizard here to set it up. I just used the WAN plus WWAN 2 wizard, and that basically made the first port the uplink and the rest of the ports LAN ports, so fairly easy to do. There's also a command prompt where you can manually enter things, which is a really nice feature to have, and I'm probably going to get a lot of use out of that once I learn all of the commands and everything. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I am of course now getting my full 100 megs down, whereas before I was only getting 30 because of that old D-Link router. So yeah, 100 down, 10 up, good to go. So before I end the video, I guess I'll go ahead and have a quick look over my switch and how everything's connected up basically. So yeah, let's go check that out real quick. Alright, so here's the setup. So the router is back over there, and we're going cable into the modem, and then from the modem to the router, and then from the router to the port 1 of the switch, and then to all of my clients, which this is my access point, this is my server, this is my little I don't know what you call it. I think it's called like UIS. I remember a little internet switch or something like that. But basically this little thing, if I lose internet connection, it reboots it to these outlets, and that's got the modem and router plugged into it. So basically, if one of them locks up and stops working, it automatically reboots them, which is a pretty handy little thing to have. You can see it's got a little light on there that says internet. So when it drops out, it will automatically force a reboot on those devices. But anyway, that's not the point. And then this here goes to my computer in the game room, which is over there. So what I plan on eventually doing is, because I only have a limited number of PoE ports on my switch here, I'm going to get a SFP to copper adapter, and I'm going to plug that into the, I'm going to move the switch over here on top of the, or I'm going to move the router over here on top of the switch is what I mean. I'm going to get an SFP to copper adapter and plug the switch in to there, and then that way I'll free up one of my my LAN ports. And then I'm going to move some of this other stuff that doesn't need power over Ethernet onto the router's ports to free up some more of them. The plan is to eventually get at least 4 of these ports freed up, because I've got some IP cameras that I'm going to be setting up, and they're going to need PoE power, so I got to free up the ports to get that working. Alright, it's actually a couple of days later, and I decided to come back here and tidy this up a little bit. So I moved the router over here on top of the modem, and then I made up some little short jumper cables from the modem to the router, and then from the router to the switch, just to kind of tidy things up. And there's nothing on the other side now, so everything's nice and neat stacked over here. And it just looks a little better, all things considered. I still really want to get either a cabinet of some sort, or I'm thinking about building a closet where an existing chimney is right now. I want to take the chimney out and build a closet in its place, but obviously getting some sort of decorative cabinet would be easier, so I may go with that first and then eventually get around to building out a proper communications closet in my house, so I can house all this stuff in a much better manner than just stuffing it behind my speakers in my entertainment center. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really recommend this Ubiquity EdgeRouter X. It's a really nice piece. If you're looking for a new wired router, check it out. It's only about $50, and it's very powerful for what you get. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, guys, take it easy.